Hey everybody, this is TK. Wanted to go over with you real quick how we're going to incorporate Drumforge Drumshotz into our Superior Drummer 3 library in real time. This you could use for live, you could use it for playing in your studio or when you're doing a mix. It's a very handy tool. These Drumshotz really help the drums cut through. As of right now, we've got the Joey Sturgis Fire Edition and the Joel Wanasek No Small Time Edition. Those are the two packs we're going to be using here. So let's go ahead and take a little sneak peek at just a standard beat here to hear how we actually sound in a full groove. All right, pretty impressive sound. I absolutely love the way this kit sounds. It mixes very well with a wall of sound of guitars, bass, vocals, and in my case, the orchestra I use as well. This drum kit is utilizing a couple of layers, so let's talk about how we get there. All right, so let's take a peek and see how we're doing this. Those of you that are Superior Drummer 3 users probably understand how we're going to get there. But for those of you that are new to Superior Drummer 3, adding drum shots or any other single shot sample, I do recommend Drumforge, but any other single shot sample can be used the same exact way. I'm going to show you a couple of other tips too that might help you along to create a more believable and more smoother transition between the multi-layered samples and single layer shots that you're putting over the top. So when we take our snare drum, for example, we're going to right click on center stack right here. Going to go add instrument to stack. And we're going to hit the add instrument over here in the top left corner. Going to import audio file. And in your file that you have with all your samples in it, in this case, we're going to add the snare matchbox blend, the Joey Sturgis Fire. This is important. You're going to hit add stack. Make sure the articulation is correct. Import. Close that out. And we should see the matchbox snare right here. The next thing that's crucial is we have to route the microphones for it to go to the right channel in the mixer in Superior Drummer 3. Otherwise, it might be coming out the wrong audio channel. Might give you a weird sound. So route instrument microphones. We have it highlighted here. We're going to select our microphones and then we're going to choose X user mic. This is the one I have set up for the Drumshotz. If you don't have a user mic, all you have to do is hit create new channel and you'll get a user mic here. So that's where our matchbox is coming through. We close that out and we bring up our mixer. You'll see user mic right there. There's the matchbox snare and it is going out through my snare 2 output, which is routed to Cubase for all of my snare shots coming through one channel. Now, another useful tip I want to point out, if you are adding single shots on top of a multi-layered library, it's very important that you smooth these out so that they transition well and not everything sounds machine gun effect whenever you're hitting fast hits or ghost notes. So if we take our matchbox snare, right here, you're looking for the velocity gate. We turn that on. And as we bring this up so that the lowest volume that it will actually trigger this shot sample is going to be right around 64. You can bring that up a little bit if you want this to be more of a power hit. 83, maximum is 127. So as you can see on the test pad here in the velocity at the lowest, it's not going to trigger until you get up to a higher velocity. All right, so now it's important that when you set your velocity gate to use your velocity curve to get it a little bit more blended in. So for this one here, we're going to set this down low about here, bring this about there, and maybe about here. Pretty drastic curve is going to allow it to start, when it does start sampling, it's not going to all of a sudden just jump in. It's going to start in a little bit quieter. And as you hit at the higher velocities, it's going to sound a little bit more blended. Just to give you an idea, the big AF snare I have is a pretty drastic, and it only starts at 102 velocity, which means it's a pretty heavy sounding snare, so I only want it at the very top end of the hits and the velocity levels. So if we check out our stack, with all of these parameters set, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 different samples playing on top of this Black Beauty snare, which it sounds like this. If we bring up our whole stack, as we start at the lower velocities, this will allow for better ghost notes. Blends pretty well. So let's hear what that sounds like in a groove with some ghost notes and some fills. Now, if all of those sample shots were all at full velocity, that would have sounded a lot more chaotic, a little bit more of a machine gun effect. With these blending tricks, it definitely gives you a little bit more flexibility in incorporating these shot samples to your playability and to how you want your snare drum to sound. On the kick drum, pretty much all the same. We're using the Wanasek Big AF kick and the Joey Sturgis kick plump. Okay, so now that we've gone over how we get there, let's go ahead and hear how this sounds in a full mix in a band so we can get an idea of where these shot samples sit in the mix. Pretty big difference between the shots being muted and the shots being added to the kick and snare. Like I said, I couldn't be happier with these samples. They sound killer. Drumforge, good job, guys. All right, so that about wraps it up. Thank you guys again for tuning in and checking us out. I hope this video is helpful for you. Huge shout out to Drumforge and what you guys are doing out there, making our lives that much easier. Really appreciate it. Look forward to checking out some more of your samples and using them in future projects. Guys, if you like this video and you want to see more like this, please leave a comment in the comment section about what you would like to see. I do plan on doing another video on how I'm setting this entire drum kit up in Cubase. You can route the instrument microphones out so you can treat it like a live recorded kit. If you'd like to follow more of what I do, make sure to hit that subscribe button and that notification bell so that you can be alerted when the next videos come out. Thanks for taking the time, friends. Appreciate you hanging out with me. Till next time, I'm TK. Peace out.